So we already have kind of the topics. Maybe we want to develop more. I think it would be great if we could have conversations around them and reframe them, and again, what it means to us, and we can have these little spontaneous moments that will make our project. But I don't know if we agree that we already have several. I think we came up to 6 points. Is that enough? You want to keep developing?
Me, I'm not so concerned with the words because I think we've got a lot of words that are like constellating, like a constellation of the things that I think are really important. I think, like I said yesterday, I think that how we are with each other also speaks volumes. So I'm good with that, and no other thoughts right now for myself. Michaela, how about you?
I'm a little bit like down that we didn't record yesterday, because I think that yesterday we were much more, or at least I felt that we were much more creative, because during the evening I did not all of it, but the second assignment, the individual work, the personal mission statement or colleagues letter of understanding, or what the clue. And I realized that it was much more easier for me to do the clue because of the discussions that we had in the morning. And yeah. So I don't know if we want to start with the questions again, or if we want to repeat the areas and try to develop around them. But I think that I'm with you when you say that for us the social contract, it's how we want to be with each other and how we want to treat each other. And I think that these sessions, because we managed to hear each other so often during this week, it's actually helping us to, or at least it's helping me to say that I actually want to work with you guys. So if I would have you in a working place, I would be happy to have you as my colleagues. And I think that we could come up with very cool projects and very workable social contract, which will involve a lot of respect and goodwill and understanding and energies deployed and so on.
Jane, I hope you were recording that. It was beautiful. You were? Yeah.
No.
That was beautiful.
I'm suddenly interested in the clue, the other work that you did last night. Are there any key points, take-homes that you were surprised by you want to share with us?
Yeah, I was actually surprised that I was able to put a lot of questions out, which usually I do not. They are just going through my head. But yesterday they were just flowing on the paper. And then another thing which I was smiling when I was writing is that there is a thing what you expect from the rest or something like this. And I used actually, and I even put in the brackets by Jane and the other one by Mark, because I used two important areas, like of course energetically deployed, and the other one by Mark was the goodwill, because I realized that was an amazing way of putting it.
Nice. Should we start by those 2 points? What do you think about the goodwill?
That means, like, what do we, you mean like just more words about what goodwill is or how it shows up?
How will we express it in our workplace?
For me, there's a sense of, and we use the word respect. I like that word a lot. And just yesterday, I was listening to a psychologist say respect is not the same as human, what do you call it? Common human decency. And I thought, I'm not so sure what the difference is. But for me, respect is, I figure when the other person speaks, it's not so much do I understand them. The first thing is assume that they have a very good reason for doing whatever they're doing. That's sort of it. Like, that's the respect part, is they assume that that there's a good reason they're doing what they're doing. And then the goodwill is, it's like, I know something usually, well, good, maybe that's goodwill. Because then goodwill doesn't mean I'm going to contribute into it. It's just like, believing that they have a good reason for what they're doing. When I want to work with someone, goodwill is incredibly important, which is just from empathy and really also believing they have a good reason for what they just said or what they want, believing that they have a really good reason and that it's in everyone's best interest for them to get that thing. Because I trust how they are with us. It's me.
To be honest, I think respect is a good thing, but I don't really like the word because it means if I respect, I won't attack you or I won't harm you. So it's not a positive word. It's kind of negating the negative. Whereas goodwill is I'm gonna do good things. Respect, I'm just gonna avoid hurting you. I respect you. You have your comfort zone. I'm not gonna get in. So it doesn't go that deep for me. So I really think it's good to respect people, but we have to go one step further.
To me, goodwill, I don't know why, but when you mentioned it yesterday, it has a lot to do with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you meet somebody, exactly also what Jane mentioned, that you expect good things from them, but on the other side it goes both way. Like people treat each other with kindness, so it's not automatically when somebody says something that you are jumping, but it's against my, I don't know, personal mission statement, or it's against my work or whatever, but simply, okay, maybe that person has something, let me hear it more. So it's willingness to interact with each other kindly. I don't know. Which is not always the case, especially in the workplace, like when everybody is just, yeah.
I hear that. I kind of want to add one thing, which is kindly to me is authentically. Like sometimes it's very kind to tell someone that I can't join something or I can't do something. It's kinder to tell the truth than to pretend something that isn't true, because everyone kind of feel it's like, off.
I think I already said yesterday, for me, the result is not always important. Like I can have a good will, but then I can commit mistakes and maybe I end up doing bad things. But the intention is what matters, If you keep wanting good things for others, then good things will happen in the end, and you have this feeling that the other person is caring for you. Whereas if they're doing good things, but the intention is not good, or they are doing bad things directly, then this is a problem for me. So I will always, I will never condemn somebody who does something bad if they are willing to do something good. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think you actually just said something that was really impacting me. I was sitting here with it, and I think the words are that you said, and they will care for you. And I thought, well, that's huge. If someone, it's not even so much will I care for them. I feel like, of course I will, but like, oh, and they'll care for me too. I can really relax when I have that thought. I can be honest. I don't have to pretend anything. It feels really good.
I mean, Jane, yesterday you spent your whole day with a friend who was into trouble because she was going to the dentist. I mean, for me, that's amazing. I've never done that, I've done other good things, but this is the goodwill essence, Like some friend needs help and you just give everything in order for them to be happy. So I want the same thing for us.
She's speechless.
What am I going to say? It's like, I guess I've been seen. Thank you.
But that's good to see Jane speechless. It's the first time and one of the first moments. I saw a couple here and there the other day, but today it was the first moment. It was like I could even imagine, like the on the TV when they are having the movies, no comment.
So the thing with the video is it doesn't show all the shimmers going through my body.
I think we are all pretty. We are able to transmit also what is happening, so we don't have, or at least we didn't put the poker face. Because I know I have a poker face.
Everybody does.
Yeah. So
I think it was good yesterday that we were doing these small questions and answers. I think it really gives something unique and spontaneous. Should we?
The question part?
No, like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I really like yesterday. Many things happened just because of the quick answers and questions.
So, is that what I would call a proposal in disguise, Mark? Are you proposing that we do that right now?
Yes.
Okay, what do we want to do next? I can always ask questions. What do we want to do next? Do you want to go through the other? It's 5 more words, right, Mark?
Yes.
You want to go through the next one?
Okay, let's go to humor. Everything's said now.
Anything more we want to say about humor?
I think you can only laugh. How would you rationale about humor?
I don't know. Everything is funny in a way, and if we can just appreciate that, things don't get so rigid, maybe. Once upon a time, I heard in a coaching group, they were saying, yeah, in coaching, there's this thing, significance and game. And if you get caught up in significance, everything gets very tight. But if you can relax and have it more like game, like things just flow. And I think humor is like higher level than game.
Yeah.
And maybe just takes a moment, like I just laugh. It's like less than a second, and it does something. What do you guys think?
I was thinking we could try to do a collective laugh together. I don't know if this is possible. Like we try to laugh as much as possible, and maybe it's contagious.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna count to 3. Count 3, 2, 1. You're leading, Mark. How do you want to do it?
Anyway, his laugh is quite catchy, so if he starts laughing, probably we'll all start.
Okay, should I start?
Oh, back and forth. I like that.
Okay, Mark, next time I want to laugh, I will just call you and I said, Mark,
Hey, Mark, do you have 30 seconds? I want to laugh for 30 seconds.
Yeah. You can start a website like the
collective laugh.
Yeah, collective laugh, exactly.
Okay, cool.
We will sign in. We will follow.
Yeah. What's next?
Great. What's next? I mean, we have willingness to learn from each other. I think we said curiosity, empathy, human connection. And we've already done humor and goodwill. So wherever you want to go. Which one of them do you like the most? Willingness to learn, curiosity, empathy, or human connection?
Willingness to learn is a pretty big one, because it's like all about growing, kind of the assumption. And when we focus on growing, there's no end. Like there's no arrival place with growing. So it's kind of a big one. But then to grow together requires the empathy and the connection. So like, do I grow individually or do I grow together with you?
Mm-hmm.
In a group, empathy and connection lets us grow together, which I think is a pretty big one for me.
And it also implies curiosity, so we can not split them, no? We have the four of them again. So growth, for me, growth equals happiness. Like if you feel that like your life is evolving and you're getting a better person, you get more friendship, more love, more learning, and you every day you get more than, or you're better than yesterday, you're happy. If you're in the downside, you're losing friends, losing jobs, you learn less, then you're unhappy. So it's always good to have these incremental amounts of learning and being better.
Last week, someone in, sorry, very brief for me. Last week, someone in the group told me about DDO, development.
Deliberately Development Organization.
Yes, and I never heard about that before. But like, it's I grow plus you grow equals we grow, and I think like that goes forever. That's forever rich. So just underscoring that one's important.
To me, willingness to learn, it involves to some extent also some humility, which was one of the words that we were yesterday. And it's coming from the fact that you accept that you don't know everything, which is absolutely normal, and it's fine, and you don't need to look on top of everything all the time. And it's absolutely fine to show that you don't know and that you are willing to learn and to receive the same from the person that you are talking to, and exactly like to grow together. Because I think that even as human beings, you can read all the books in the world, but this doesn't mean that you are actually growing together with somebody else. Maybe you just put information to your brain and that's it. So
and
I mean, that's why I'm putting these two words together. Sorry, Mark.
So you mentioned it's that we don't know everything, so it's good to be humble. And I also feel life is easier when you're humble. Like if you try to defend your ego constantly and fight, it's hard. Whereas if you say I'm silly, I don't know, just gonna listen, then people will embrace you. Then you open your mind, that everything is easier. So why do we keep like protecting our egos that much? You know?
Yeah. I think this is one of the worst place which is happening in hierarchies. People are always trying to protect their egos, and actually they are showing zero willingness to learn, zero human connection, zero whatever. Because it's me.
Yeah. It's a little bit also like a circle, right? If the person in front of you is trying to defend your ego and is not listening, then you want to defend yours, and the other people want to defend yours, and then we keep growing this ball, you know? So maybe a good point to start is always like entering a room or a meeting or something, like everybody's going to say they're stupid or they don't know everything, and then we make sure we're not going to defend our egos. I don't know.
Yeah, connected to this, I have a story which I think I'd like to share, which was for me like it hit me directly on the head or in the face, or I don't know how to call it. We had a new colleague coming in, and she's amazing. She's really great, and she has a lot of knowledge. But during the first interaction, she asked me a question. We were supposed to have a meeting in the board. And she asked me a question, and she told me, Mihaela, how do you want me to act? And I was like, what do you mean? Act however you want. No, but is there some areas in which you need my support, or is there some areas in which I should say or not say something? She didn't put exact these words, but this was the untold. And I was like, no, you just I don't care if you disagree with me publicly. It's absolutely fine. And I used exactly these words. We are having each other's back because we care about each other, but it's not about not saying your opinion because there is some stupid hierarchy in the middle. So she was looking. I'm not sure that she got, because it was one of the first meeting. Now I think that she understood. But there is a lot of this happening. Like people are not, and if you don't have like honest interaction because of the hierarchy, then there is absolutely no willingness to learn, no matter how many books you are reading. So
That's right.
this is how strange it gets in hierarchies.
But you're not in a hierarchy anymore, or you're
We are. Let's say we are officially, but already for 1 year we are like. I mean, we were always different, yeah. But only during the past 1.5 years, actually, my boss came across the concept, and he said, "Finally, I have a name for what we are doing." And since then, we are just trying to educate ourselves and so on.
And yesterday you added in LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
when will you shift to roles? Like I saw these titles.
Yeah. First, we need, because we wanted to do this last year, and we said that probably it will have too huge impact, and we don't want to put an name on it, but we actually want to first educate people, like to be sure that we use the same vocabulary. And we are just trying to introduce like a little bit here and there. Okay, what is a role? What does it mean? What is a social contract? What is TIL, or what is DDO, or so on, and why we are doing it. And then slowly, probably we will start to introduce in some of the teams this. But it's a lot at stake, and we want to. And I don't mean now financially. I mean simply humanly. And people get confused a lot. We started open book management a couple of years ago, and still it's not 100%. So we want to take it slowly to be sure that this is in the long run what we want to do, and we don't want to just start now to do a boom. We do the roles and then that's it. Yeah, we just try it step by step, slowly. I don't know if it's best, but this is how we are.
Yes.
So where are we now in the process of naming our social agreement, social contract?
I think we touched all to some extent.
So the keeper of the words, do both of you have all the words, or is Mark the keeper of the words? What words do we have now?
I mean, we kind of went along all the words, but I think we should develop some more, like curiosity. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about curiosity?
Asking questions.
Willingness to grow, understanding that I don't know things, and enjoy that.
And I don't even know if there is a rationale behind curiosity. Like the most curious human beings are the kids. You know, they don't put words into it. They just ask questions. They just look around. And even dogs, they enter a place and they will just explore what they can learn. You know, so I don't know how we can cultivate this feeling. Well.
What I've seen a lot is like older we grow, that more scared we are to ask questions because it makes us look stupid or I don't know what. Yes. And I think that yesterday we did, and Jane's idea was absolutely brilliant. And from question to question, you get to the point. And I recall now my daughter, and she's at the why stage, which means that. Why is the water, I don't know how, why is the sun yellow, and then because, and why, and why, and why. And sometimes she gets me to some points that I'm giving her so many crazy answers that we laugh a lot about it. So I'm amazed how exactly how you said, like, curiosity is probably what develops us as people, amongst many others.
So I notice we have 10 more minutes in this recording. I can stop and start another recording.
Okay.
It's the free. So I'm going to stop recording and just start again.